All right, guys, I know that this isn't allowed in this era of social media and of trying to be boisterous and trying to tell everybody about how great and smart and all this other stuff you are. But the truth is that one of the things that this save has taught me is that I might have been wrong about certain concepts in Football Manager, in particular, the importance of certain personalities. So let's go take a look at this really quickly. It may be the case that low determination and ambitious personalities are not necessarily players who cannot do any good at all. So let's go take a look here and see what we can find. Apparently, if I click here, it tells me who is and who is not a core player. Everybody's a core player, so whatever. Daly is our vice captain, Daryl Daly, and he has a low determination personality and dislikes big matches. Usually this is the sort of player I would stay away from. We look at his form. Do you see him disliking big matches at all in this form? I mean, the worst match that he's had are two 6.8 performances. He's been playing constantly through the season, including playing in numerous big matches. He's done just fine. Interesting how that works. Let's see who else is not doing so well. Oh, look, Silvis also has low determination, but he apparently likes big matches, whatever that's supposed to mean. We look over there at his form, and it's been nothing but good performances, right? We could look at the development. We could look into his development training, his training progress, and look at that. He just goes straight up. If we go back and we look at Daly, even though he's a little bit older, he's, 29 years old. If we look at his training progress, goes straight up. Interesting how that works, despite the fact that we have low levels of determination. Who else would I never have signed or played with? Let's look at this guy, Gill, who hasn't even played. Juan Pablo Gill, I don't think, has he played any matches at all? I don't remember this guy. He hasn't played anything at all. He was injured for a while and then is always a unused substitute. His progress has gone down because he hasn't been playing. Let's look at Jimenez, who I know I have played, 16-year-old Jimenez. When we look over at his form, he has good form, except for that 6.5 against Boise State. Pretty rough team to play him against. And when we look at his training progress, nothing but positive. This is despite the fact that he has an unambitious personality. Remember, I always tell you that these unambitious personalities are guys who are not going to develop that well. Here's Manrique Solano, who also has an unambitious personality. And we'll look really quick there at his form. He hasn't played for a long time. When he did play, he was okay, except for that stinker against Nevada. 6.2 is pretty bad. And his progress went up, and then it stalled. Why? Because he hasn't been playing. When we go back and look at him, though, 26 years old. That's the thing. If he's 26 and not playing, I mean, he's not going to be so great, I suppose. Let's look at another one. I mean, tons of these guys. Some of these guys you know, right? Rilke, for example. Jim Rilke has played a number of matches. He is inconsistent, he's injury prone, and he has the unambitious personality. When we go over here to his form has actually been excellent in the matches he's been in. I haven't seen a lot of inconsistency. Maybe this one against Colorado State. I took him off at halftime, but we still managed to win by quite a significant portion. But look at his progress in training. I mean, he's just gone up by leaps and bounds. This is a player who's 16 years old. Now, I know what Max over at Evidence-Based Football Manager will say about this guy, which is that when he's 16, you could play him, you could not play him. It doesn't matter. It's the training that's the important part when they're that young. While it is true that the training is the important part when they're that young, when we're looking at a guy who's inconsistent and who has supposedly has all of these problems and who's not playing at this level, he's playing at the Big Sky level. If I look at this form and I'm seeing this kind of form, I want this guy to play more often. I mean, he's playing really well. Could be the tactic, I suppose, but I wonder if there isn't more going on here. I would love to know what your thoughts are like. As far as injury, being prone to injuries are concerned, he has had one injury. He was out for 2 days after this game against Alabama way back in July, and that's all that we've seen in terms of injury proneness. And so this tells us something, right? One of the things I think that this tells us is that as important as these personalities are, and as these other things I talk about all the time really are, it's not going to tell you everything that's going on. It's possible that cohesion is also very important. It's possible that getting guys into the same social groups is very important. It's possible that if you focus on squad dynamics and on making sure that you have players that fit in well with your squad, you might be able to play better than you thought before. I've talked about this in terms of tactics before, right? It's true that the tactics that you run are not necessarily going to guarantee you victory. We've seen that with this team already, where we've played against teams that are far below us and we've struggled, even though we're using the same tactic because the tactic's not magical. Well, the same thing is true about professionalism and having the right personalities. It's something to think about. Football Manager is a complex game. When you do your own testing on Football Manager, if you want to test out a thesis, you have to make sure that you are controlling for all possible variables, because there are a lot of variables in this game that do have impact and that do matter and really do matter in a very, very very real sense. Something to keep in mind. Real quick video today. Hope you enjoyed this. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye.